But the point I'm trying to make is Dana gets out there and it was like, you have an obligation to not just Johnny, to the sport, to the fans, blah, blah, blah. And if you're going to hold a belt, he's right. He's right. You do have an obligation. Now, again, how you fulfill that obligation, there's some wiggle room, but you do. Like, I just want everyone to realize, like, I've seen a number of things being said about this. Like, oh, the UFC's obviously just going to wait for November. Motherfucker, they've been trying to fill dates. Like, his last fight was November. There are several dates they could have filled between now and then, including, but not limited to, UFC 317 to get this done, and it didn't materialize. Like, this idea that the plan was always to wait till next November, I'm sure that was part of a contingency plan. But I suspect that, like, churning and and turning that fight is kind of a big priority for them. This idea that, like, oh, they had to wait November to November to do this is just like, that's where we are now, because we can't make this fight in the summer. And so at this point, it just doesn't make any more sense than to just keep on waiting until November. But there's been a number of dates and a number of dates they've tried to fill to make that fight happen. First of all, like, November isn't like the ideal date. November is the drop dead date. If they can't make it at that point, well, then they just really have that's it. Like, that's the end of the fucking experiment at that point. More to the point, I got a lot of people, and I'm sure many of you felt the same way, but you can just look at my mentions from that time, social media here on this channel as well, some of the comments. So many people being like, oh, what, we're supposed to cancel the Stipe fight? Yes, bitch. Yes. There was no fucking reason to go through with that fight. That fight should have been canceled. It was fucking stupid. And now look where we are. We had Jon Jones fight a fucking corpse, making a pretty dollar, which fine, he's entitled to make, money for his services, but for doing fucking nothing, And now we have to wait a whole other year while he's mopeding through fucking Thailand and watching Nate Diaz slap Russian dudes on a fucking television set? Yeah, I think we can affirmatively declare now that the Stipe Miocic fight was a gigantic waste of time, a gigantic mistake, a gigantic fight that never needed to happen. Total waste of time, because all it's done is waste time in Tom Aspinall's career, and all it's done is now making him being able to get back out there and us take care of the future of the heavyweight division all the more difficult, to the point of nearly being impossible. Yeah, it was a huge fucking mistake. And there was a cadre of people at that time, not an insignificant ones, being like, well, the fight's already signed. They can fucking cancel that. What are you talking about? They can do that. They're not like, oh, well, I mean, the train's left the station. What are we supposed to do? Change the fucking plans. That's what you should have done. That's what everyone with, well, not everyone, but a lot of us were saying. And I know many of you were in agreement at that time. But there was a bunch of people at that time saying stupid shit like, well, what are we supposed to do? Just not have the Stipe fight? Well, congratulations, dumb fucks. Look where we are now. Look at this stupid shit and where we are now. The Stipe fight plus this dumb shit, this is the great alternative? Congratulations. Wow. What excellent foresight was exercised by that. Amazing. You got a shit fight and deep and extraordinary fan frustration with the possibility that you may not get that fight now at all. And this is the superior alternative. Amazing to watch that. The dumb fucks who said that should be drummed out of the sport. Turn in your fan card. And I know many of you are not like that. I know many of you were smart. Salute to you, gentlemen and lady, who had the foresight to realize how stupid that was. Look at the hell it has brought us to. And now the UFC, as I mentioned in the video, they look kind of weak as a consequence, man. Even though they have all the leverage, and even though the organization will be fine, basically, if this doesn't happen, but it will be a black eye. It will be an ugly moment. It will lead to a certain amount of fan resentment that I think will have some kind of a market impact. I mean, imagine being the person when they wanted to reschedule the Stipe fight after Jon got injured. Imagine being the idiot who said, yeah, Tom can wait. What's he done in the sport? Oh, you fucking morons. Look at where we are now. That fight should have never, ever, ever, ever happened. And now we have to pay the bill. Now the bill is here. Well, welcome to it. Slide your fucking credit cards over. We're going to max it out. What do you expect UFC to do in terms of announcing Jones Aspinall? What do you mean? This fight is projected for Oh, here we go. Perfect example. This fight is projected for it's projected for MSG in November because of all the other bad, dumb shit that's happened. You can't blame Jon for being injured, but he got injured training for which fight? I'm sorry. Oh, right. A fight that should have never taken place. Then we had to fucking delay it a year. And by the way, remember Jon being like, why did they put a title on Aspinall versus, Pavlovich at the time? Yeah, well, I mean, that was the one good decision that they did make. I give them credit for that one. And now they went through with that terrible plan, and it has brought us to this hellish position. What are you talking about? We're only having a discussion about the next MSG card being in play because every other failsafe has either been run over or burned through. That's why the MSG, dude, that speaking of the Alamo, that's the fucking Alamo. That's the Alamo. Because there's no other place left to go after that. It's the end of the line. There's been many stops on this route. They just elected to not take them. Or they couldn't make a deal for International Fight Week because, hello, Jon is exercising he's either playing games or exercising leverage or some combination of the two. And so it has brought us to, I cannot believe people are saying the plan all along was, a year before the Miocic fight once he got injured, that the plan was, you know what? Let's do Aspinall November 2025. No one was fucking saying that dumb shit. No one was saying that this is where we are because of a series of failures along the way. So yeah, would it make sense to announce it now that 317 is filled and 318 is filled and 319 is filled? No, it doesn't make sense. At this point, well, fuck it. Now you have to wait. But this being the ideal and only plan that could have ever taken us to this position, we are only here because people couldn't make the right call about canceling the Stipe fight. That's why we're sitting in this terrible position today. That's it. Among other problems, but that's a big one. It's the core one, really. It's the core one. They had to indulge him, apparently, for Stipe. Well, fantastic job. Is everyone happy now? Is everyone happy that we have to fucking wait to find out if this is going to happen? And by the way, remember, they might make it in November, which case, all right, this sucked, but great. But there's a really good chance that it doesn't happen. And by the way, even if they do get it in November, you can be like, oh, well, it was worth the wait. Well, it was worth the wait in the sense of better to have the fight than to not have the fight. But all of this extra waiting didn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen. They made a fight that was stupid, that in the end was Stipe's a legend, but I mean, the state he was in. Oh my God, what are we talking about? The state he was in. Yeah, Jon looked good. I said that on Fight Night. I'll repeat it here. Jon looked pretty good, but he looked good against, Stipe looked terrible. He looked terrible. Anyway, I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but please stop changing the fucking goalposts to accommodate people who made bad decisions. Please stop doing that. This was never the plan. This is where we are. It's not the plan. The Stipe Miocic fight was a mistake. Say it out loud. Say it. It was stupid. It was a mistake. It should have never happened. So don't try and, retrofit the logic. Oh, well, this is why we're here now because you know what? It all kind of makes sense. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That was a gigantic waste of everyone's time that now has led us to this utterly unenviable position. Soak it in for the people who were boosters of that fight. This is the bed you made. Which I'm not saying you, sir, who asked this question. I'm saying to the other people out there. I cannot believe those fucking arguments. What? They're just going to cancel on Stipe? Yes! That's exactly what they should do. The fuck are you talking about? His career ended with Ngannou in the apex. Hate to say that to you. It did. That was the end. It didn't end in New York City last November. It ended 5 years ago.